Hello, everybody. How's your weekend going? Hopefully you're doing well. Lots of love here from my little furry assistant Apollo and I. We're going to take a look at a really exciting weekend collective today because we have a full moon, a lunar eclipse, a supermoon, and also the flower moon. If you haven't already picked up on it, there's a lot of lunar energy coming through today. So that is going to definitely be the beginning part of this forecast. We'll focus on what to do, how to embrace that energy, and I'll try to put everything in the right direction for you. So my name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. Welcome. You're tuning in today for a weekly collective forecast. Collective, a word people don't always understand. It just basically means everybody's welcome. A lot of different readers will break it down by every sign, but this is something where, listen, we're all on the planet at the same time. We can tap into the collective energy for the week. I do have one part of this that will be sign specific, and that is the elemental forecast, where I'll look at fire, earth, air, and water, and we can kind of break it down in that particular portion. But the rest of it, it's for all of us here. So again, my name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. The topic that you guys voted on for today was actually really connected to the blood moon, I believe. Writing a new chapter so that you're not repeating history. And I think that one of the best things that we can do on a full moon is to be reflective, is to sort of look at what's possible, okay? So I've already lit all of the candles behind me. I have one more here that we're gonna light afterwards. I'm keeping it on the table so I don't forget. And we'll set an intention after we look at what's going on with the moon, and I'll do a past, present, and future pull for the moon as well, before we even get into the 7-day forecast, blessings and blocks, any of the other stuff that we're gonna be doing today. And depending on how I feel, I may do a sort of different approach when we get into the main topic. Sometimes when I do a bonus reading, what I'll do is a series of pulls, 3-card pulls or single card pulls. So we may look at the big topic in a different light. We'll just see where it goes today, okay? So I'm gonna get the presentation ready. Before I do that, a quick reminder here that Dakota is here to help with any high-level questions that you might have, so that's great. And if you also want to show some support, you can do that through SuperStickers and Super Chat. Here's the way that you can do that there. If you want to chat and you're watching live, you need to be a subscriber, so please hit that subscribe button. And to keep in touch and know when like new videos are coming out, or if there's any change in the times of the videos, which I've had to do over the past month because of construction here, definitely follow me on social media, as I will try to keep you up to date there. Okay, so that's all I wanted to say with that. So let's go ahead now and focus on the messages. Let me get the presentation pulled up and we'll get started. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully you're doing well. Whenever you're in this sort of energy of a full moon, it can sometimes feel a little overwhelming. So do be kind to yourself while you're through this. Okay, so let me just double check everything. We've got the presentation ready and I'm gonna share it with you now. Okay, so again, there's a lot going on with this moon. It's not just a full moon. It's right between the seasons of spring and summer here in the Northern Hemisphere. Again, it's full. It's also close to the Earth, which makes it a supermoon, and it's a flower moon. Again, that's just because of the fact that it usually ushers in spring and summer. So let's break each one of these down message by message. The first thing that I want to talk about is what you can do during a full moon. It's a really good time to be gentle with yourself. But I often find that I get great ideas. I'm a creative type, and during a full moon, my dreams are more vivid than they usually are. My intuition, third eye, is more open and more clear than it often is at other times of the month. So I find that it's a great time to reflect, to redirect. If I've been focusing a lot on one thing, because of the intuitive muscles being a little bit more sharpened, if I think of something else, I may be able to solve a problem. Also letting go, of course, releasing. You typically don't want to start something brand new, but you can do so much work and planning and letting go or creating of space during a full moon that the days that follow are usually quite fruitful. Of course, just pulling up the moon card here as well for reference, it's a really good time to look at your hopes and fears and decide. It doesn't have to happen today, but decide, I'm going to look at this. I'm going to do something about this. So that's why we're going to light a candle here in a few moments for intention. What is your intention with this full moon for either letting go or creating something new? And again, when I look at the topic here, it's great. It's saying stop repeating history. So we're going to look at a cyclical sort of energy, and that might be what I pull when I look at the past, present, future, so we can really see where you can release. Thank you so much, by the way, to everybody that's giving back with super stickers. I will call you out by name at the very end of the reading. I just wanted to acknowledge that I see it and that I appreciate it. All right, let's go to the next slide. So it's a scary sounding name, Blood Moon. It's just because of the color of the shadow that's basically cast on the moon. And what we're going to focus on more is like what an eclipse brings about. And it's really space and its distance. And if I had to pick, there are a few cards actually in tarot that would indicate this. It would be either the Eight of Cups or the Six of Swords. It could also be a beginning card like the Fool, because when we don't see something, many things can happen internally. It can make us feel the sense of, is it gone? Or what am I without this? Or is something that I'm trying to create still going to happen even though I'm not seeing indications of that? Basically, it's fear and insecurity that comes through, some of the stuff that we would have been dealing with in this card as well. So when you have those energies of fear and insecurity, give yourself a moment, take a deep breath, and this is a time to really get back into faith, hope, and intention. Some of you may also need to take a break. And so that's why I also highlighted the Eight of Cups. It's good to take breaks, sabbaticals, vacation, time off, holiday, whatever you want to call it, so that you can decide, do I still feel attached to this? Or am I feeling like I want to explore something brand new? If you do this, it can help you avoid like a future tower moment, because towers typically come in when we avoid necessary change. So when we take a break and we reflect, we can actually then set an intention and create action and then completely circumvent a more difficult change that might have to happen. So give yourself some time. Take some, whether it's 10 minutes, an hour, or a couple of days, whatever it is that you need to do to reset mentally, this is a good time to do that, okay? Creation isn't like that. Even the Big Bang, at the very beginning, this was just a hot, soupy, fiery mess, this universe. So you couldn't make anything out of it. Like the creation of each and every each and every galaxy took a long time. And let's not even get into the solar system. It's a very young creation in respect to whatever, 13, 14 billion years of this universe. So creation takes time. You don't want to lose hope or give up during that. You can do a lot of different things at once. This might be a time to juggle a few things. A good chef is not going to have too many things cooking at once, but they do understand, like, if you're cooking a protein or if you're boiling some noodles or doing this, you can actually do something else while that's happening. So multitasking is key here. And also keeping hope, keeping faith, and keeping the vision of what it is that you're creating. I picked a very auspicious and optimistic and positive card here, the Three of Wands. I sometimes criticize this card, but what I like about this one is that the person, the figure in this card, is looking. Their eyes are open. So one of the best things, it's not always passive. We could actually just see it as hope, faith, and again, sort of vision work that's going on here. They've just come from the Two of Wands, which is, this is where I want to go, this is what I want to do. Now they're looking for signs and symbols because they know it's happening. Is it happening over here? Can I make more progress happen here? Oh, wait, here's a sign and symbol over here. Maybe I should listen to that. It's a very aware card. So creation isn't always going to be right in front of you. You might have to lift up a rock. You might have to talk to somebody. You'll be surprised that it's already en route to you, okay? And that's what is coming through as a reminder as we go through all of the different aspects of this very beautiful and complicated full moon, right? Okay, bigger than life. So I recently rewatched Moonstruck. It was on one of my streaming services, and I'm like, oh, it's been a minute since I saw this. Basically, what they were talking about was a supermoon in Moonstruck, because he's talking about the moon that's bigger. It was like Cosmos moon or something, but like he was talking about this moon that was bigger than life, right? And ironically, one of Cher's catchphrases in that is like, snap out of it. So sometimes things can seem like they're bigger than life during this energy because it's full, it's bigger and closer than usual. There is an eclipse, and we're right between a couple of seasons. So any one of those energies could affect our, cognitive ability and our common sense, but put them together. And this would be kind of like a moonstruck moon where there's just a lot. And if you make a snap judgment or a quick movement today or tomorrow, it may be something that you would want to reevaluate as the week progresses. So take a moment, ask for time if you can. One of the best negotiation techniques is always to just say, I need to do some research, or I need some time to consider it, or why don't we, there's a couple things that I would like to discuss in greater depth. Can we reconvene tomorrow? Give yourself time so that you can sleep on it. That's actually, I chose the Four of Swords for the last card because that is going to help you out quite a bit. Okay. When this full moon appears, again, things seem, it's almost like an exclamation point, brighter, bigger, or more intense. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling like it's too much, again, going back to what we just previously talked about, the energy of getting some time and distance, I think is going to be key here with the Eight of Cups. It's not walking away from, it's not giving up. It's just saying, I need to reflect upon it. And then looking for the positive in what's going on. And then when you communicate in the highest way possible. And if you feel words coming out that they're not appropriate, when the Queen of Swords goes into reverse, again, step back. I was having some difficulties with, as you know, there's construction going on, and I've talked to the management company here and the managers, but they don't care. And I realized during a conversation that both sides were just kind of like, it was the supermoon energy coming in. Everybody felt passionate about their perspective. So again, it helps me understand. That's why I will be moving in the next few months here. The backdrop will change because it's time. So if you feel like a decline in the conversation or the value of the conversation, that's a sign to you that you might be kind of just going against a dead end, and it's time to find a different direction. Don't go into the reverse state on that one. That's my advice. The flower moon is actually quite auspicious as well, or the name flower moon, because we're looking at growth and transformation, but it's planting a new seed, trying something new, writing a new chapter. You guys chose the perfect topic, or kind of like combination of topics. So when we stop repeating a cycle, then we can start something new. So that's going to be the two-pronged approach that we'll be looking at when I get into the larger part of the reading today. So it's time to plant seeds of intention right now. If something's broken, I gave you an example here, like if there's a contract that needs to be released, if there's a relationship that's run its course, if there's a job and you feel like you've learned and done everything that you can do, rather than rehashing things, rather than sort of like talking in circles, just decide what's next. What am I going to do about this? Because this isn't working, so I need to create. You're always an active creator, an active participant in your life, and that's really what we're looking at here, is where to put that energy. What's a better investment of your time and energy? So I actually think everything in tarot, everything in life is a chance to do better, to thrive. So during this multifaceted full moon and eclipse, be kind to yourself and others. Take as much rest and consideration as you need to before taking action. If there's a difficult conversation, take a look at the 7-day forecast and we'll see which day works best for communication. But I seriously doubt it's today, and it probably isn't on Monday. So hold those more difficult conversations until the moon starts to soften and weaken a little bit, and it's no longer in its full state. Definitely think before speaking. Weigh out what the impact is going to be of your words. Plant seeds. Figuratively speaking, although it's a great time for gardening as well, but plant seeds by doing things like researching and brainstorming. In a retrograde, these are also good things to do. Get all the plans, all the blueprints set up. You may not sign on the dotted line during that period, but you can get everything fully set up so that it's like you're a project manager and you're ready to just hit the go button, right? And then the image that I featured here is really associated with the last bullet, which is to sleep on it. Things will feel bigger than life as you're going through some of these changes, but a good night's rest, a little bit of time and space, using again the energy of the Eight of Cups perhaps as well, will assist you on this, okay? So give it a day, give it a minute, see how you feel after that, see after you feel after a deep breath even, and then we'll take it from there, okay? So we're going to do great over this next week, And this is a big push of energy that we can plug into. So let's set an intention. Before we do it, I'm going to pull the camera down and we're going to use appropriately the sun and moon deck on this, just to sort of see opportunities, past, present, future, what's coming through with this particular moon, and then maybe this can help you as you set your particular intention. By the way, I believe it's happening this evening. There are some, the ways that you can watch it, I think NASA has something, CNN, there's some different things actually on YouTube where you can watch it live this evening. So definitely check it out if you are in a part of the world where you can't normally see the full moon or this eclipse. All right, so past, present, and future. So again, it's really great energy actually as you're looking at all of these. Let's just pull the cards upright and towards the camera so you can see it. So as we're looking at past influences here, we have Empress energy coming through, and with the Empress in reverse, it definitely is a time to let go. And it's hard to let go sometimes because for anybody that's worked on something important, something creative, something where they have a lot of attachment, there is this sort of fear of judgment, like what will people think when I let this go, when I release this, when I say this, when I do this. Also, when you're kind of like at one of the big milestones in life, like graduation, marriage, divorce, anything where you're starting or stopping, there is this identity crisis. What am I if I'm not doing what I was doing before? But this card is suffused and filled and infused with abundance. We have the little rabbits in the front. We have butterflies. We have the pregnant empress in the background. We have the stork even in the background as well. It's basically saying it's time to deliver on whatever it was. Promise, intention. It's time to release. This isn't all there is. It's the beginning. It's a new chapter. My favorite Queen card in tarot probably is the Queen of Wands. I say that from time to time. It's because she's magical. She can turn a gray sky into a blue sky. She can find resources where others can't. She knows that the power of thought and sometimes just sheer movement, because it's a very action-based card as well, but it comes from here and here first. It can change perspective. It can recolor the lens. So if you can just look at it from a different perspective right now, Queen of Wands is here to help you problem solve. There is a solution. There is a way out. And she's telling you to keep thinking. Don't give up. And then we also have someone helping you, and we see rapid action taking place with the King of Wands here. Also, this is development on what you just built here. I love that he's riding a unicorn. Some people may think that things are impossible, but again, these two court cards are coming through to show that sometimes the most unusual, outlandish, or left of center idea can be the most important, because it's change, it's movement, it's growth. So you're not supposed to repeat. This is exactly in alignment with the topic that the majority of you chose. And of all of the most recent polls, maybe over the past, it might be the one that's been voted on the most. I was so surprised to see how overwhelming the majority was for this one. So clearly this topic resonated with almost half of you. So I can see it in the cards, and we're going to have a great time today looking at how to write something new in your life, how to create something new. So let's set that as the intention here as we light the candle. And just a reminder here that don't focus so much on possible versus impossible. I want you to focus on what you're trying to create. What is it that you want to do? Set an intention for either clarity, or you remember we were looking at the Three of Wands. Show me a way, show me a sign, show me a symbol. So set your intention, take a nice deep breath, and let's light the candle together. Please, guides, angels, and ascended masters, come through now and help everybody see what they need to see when it comes to creating this new chapter and this new part in their life. I'm going to put this candle behind us so that we can focus, but it'll be there helping us with the intention, with the direction as we move forward. Okay, so I just put it right up there. All right, so again, I really like that we got all power cards, by the way, from the Empress to the Queen of Wands to the King of Wands. Lots of power and manifestation, and again, you can deliver on what you set out to do. Okay, so let's put this deck to the side. And I may reuse the deck that I was using last week because I liked it quite a bit. I may continue with the Wild Unknown for the 7-day forecast because it has some cool energy, also has some lunar energy in it as well. So we're going to go with that. And then I'll give you some different decks to vote on when we go into the main forecast. So if you just joined, perfect timing. We're going to get into the 7-day forecast looking from Sunday to Sunday. Okay, so let's go ahead and put the focus on the desk and see what's coming through. And yeah, there's some folks asking about super stickers. It's right where that little $ symbol is. You have to, I think you have to be using it on either a mobile device or the PC. You can't use it on a console, obviously. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. All right. It's looking good, and it's ironic that we got the moon today. I mean, it's not ironic, it's appropriate. That's the right word for that. And as I thought, as we get into the middle of the week, we're starting to see better energy for communication and productivity. So let's talk about what we're seeing here. All right, so the cards don't lie. We got the moon card for Sunday. We're going through a ton of lunar energy, which makes a lot of sense here. The way that the illustrator kind of positioned the energy in this card is two very stoic or grounded energies. Instead of a coyote or a wolf and a dog, we have the two trees here. And trees are interesting because they're not going to be easily uprooted or upended. And for some of you, there could be this sort of rigidity between where you are and where you need to be, or communication-wise between you and another, because the moon typically does carry with it a sort of territorial energy. So let me just pull the card as we're talking and we'll look at this. But one of the things to remind yourself often when we're looking at the moon card is that there's an illusion that it has to be either black or white, or that you have to convince people. I often see the conflict or the sort of like competing energies at the beginning of the card as a distraction toward what it is that you're really trying to accomplish. So let's look at a real, traditional illustration for the moon card here. And we see the two different energies, one representing the instinct. So the wolf or the coyote showing the instinct, and then the dog showing this is what I was told to do. And then there's always sort of a tug of war. Sometimes it's better to follow conventions and rules. Sometimes it's better to go with your gut. And you have to kind of sit on that fork in the road and decide, I want to do this, but I know better. Or I've been told to do this, but I know better because my heart is rarely wrong, and this is where I need to go next. So it's the two little influences on the shoulder, sort of saying the angel and the devil. What do I listen to? I really feel like as we're looking at, we'll pull a card for that because that's kind of a unique question, and that's what I'm getting at. So what should you do? What's expected, or what your heart is telling you? So we got the Three of Wands, which I talked about as well. If you've been planning to do something, your vision and your way of doing it is, again, unexpected, and that's okay. Other people can't always see it. Don't lose hope. So basically, this card is the fear and the doubt that others may be projecting on you. This is the clarity. As long as you know how you want to do it and why you want to do it, go for it. There has to be clear vision on this one. So that's basically what this Three of Wands is saying. And I chose the Three of Wands and I chose the moon. Both of those cards are coming through in the forecast. So a lot of this is resonating with me as well. The only other thing that I would say for you right now with this is the seeds that you plant now can grow beyond your wildest dreams in the future. So the fact that we see those two trees is also telling me that when we were talking about setting intentions right now, that's key. So avoid arguing about something that you already know to be true or something that you are planning on doing. It's a waste of your time and energy. If there's something that you really feel inspired to look into, go for it. It's a highly creative, highly intuitive card. And that's what we're looking at there, okay? So let's move on to, it's a good day basically for all the stuff that I talked about in the channeled messages. Someone asked what the totem was. It's the moon, and it's all the different aspects of the moon, from the supermoon to the blood moon to the flower moon to the eclipse. So go back and listen to that portion, and I feel like I really summarized what you can be doing today and tomorrow. All right, let's move in to the energy of Monday. So we have 5, 6, 7, 7 of Cups. So the 7 of Cups is the exploration. So today you could be reflecting, you could be projecting. This one is where you're going to start to do some research. You might talk to some other people. You also might be just receiving some new things. And the important thing for you to do is to write it down, sketch it out, capture it. So Monday is a day of brainstorming. At its best, that's what the 7 of Cups can offer us, is a chance to see things from a different perspective, understand what's possible, and not to limit ourselves by just one thing. So this is the day where I would say, if you're in a brainstorming group, or if you're talking to someone, the important thing is to make sure that nobody's idea is brushed off as silly. Here's your traditional 7 of Cups. You can see in this one, everybody looking at, well, let's consider this, and how about this? And maybe we can take a couple of these and mesh them together. So let the ideas continue to kind of be there. One of them is going to be a little bit more sort of like, it's going to have more meat, it's going to come down to earth, and you're going to be able to move forward with that, okay? So give everything a chance to be considered, capture everything. Also, if you as a group decide to go down one path and it doesn't prove fruitful, this brainstorming session is something that you don't want to lose. If you're looking for things in life, a house, a partner, new opportunities in work, whatever you're looking at and saying, not this or not this again, that list or that beginning ideation process, you may need to revisit it. So that's why I think Monday, you're going to have tons of ideas. You may discount some. Don't throw away the work that you've done here in your head space. Don't tell anyone that they're silly or stupid or the idea doesn't have weight. For me, actually, I've talked about that before. That was a clarifying moment when I was sitting at a boardroom table and someone probably 3 or 4 times in a row just told me no, no, no. And I thought, this is a brainstorming session. What am I doing here? If ideas are not valued, and if they're not discounted in a way that's even capturing the idea and saying, well, we'll consider that, or that's a long shot, but I like what you're talking about. Maybe we can pull some of this here. There was none of that. So if you're in a relationship where someone always discounts your input, if you are at a job or in the family and people try to hush you all the time, this is your time to sort of realize, this isn't working for me anymore. So your aha or epiphany moment is, now let me turn my mind to something else. What can I do besides this? How can I get out of this situation? And so you'll either get great ideas for what to do and you can collaborate and cooperate, or you can focus on where else you can put your time and energy. You start to get busy and productive and see some substantial work happening on Tuesday. This is the best day for work by far. 10 of Pentacles here, showing that other people are more willing to listen and buy into your ideas. You can work better as a group or as a family or as a couple. This is, again, collaboration, productivity, and it's a very fruitful energy. It's not as fun as the 10 of Cups, but it's very productive. There can be a little bit of merriment with it, but it's much more sort of like we're working together, whether it's 2 or more people, and we're getting stuff done and it feels good. This also might be a day where family enters in a little bit more. A lot of times 10 of Pentacles can be your family or your friends, but also kind of like wanting something. There's sometimes strings attached with this. So be kind to yourself, have some good limits as well on Tuesday, and focus on what you can do together. It's a teamwork day by far. This is a good day for yourself, for the relationships you love the most, for taking one of these ideas and creatively expanding upon it. It's a day of expansion, but it's expanding from the heart space. So as we go to Wednesday, Ace of Cups, love, creativity, expansion, clarity, having some fun. If you have been saving up and wondering, when can I take some time off? When can I do something fun with myself or with someone else, like going to a movie or going shopping or taking a drive or something? The Ace of Cups is saying, if you can do it on Wednesday, it's a prime day to do it. If you can spend this time with someone that you love even better, because Ace of Cups is basically the big old heart day. So anything that you can do to honor the heart, honor your passion, honor joy is going to be rewarded, okay? It's a fun day midweek, okay? And I like that. As we're looking at Thursday, we're getting back to work here. That's why it's good to have a little bit of rest and relaxation, good to celebrate what you've done, good to celebrate the work that was already done on Tuesday. So Tuesday and Thursday coming across as very busy days, very productive days. You may be taking a little bit more of the lead here. You may be running point, going between two different people and trying to communicate the message. Don't be shy. We have a young deer in this one, a fawn or whatever it is, a doe, right? Basically, it can get scared sometimes, this particular symbol. Any of the deer, whether it's male, female, young, old, doesn't matter, they tend to scare quickly. So one thing that I would say here is in your communication, because this is more of a data-based card or money or resources or fact-based card, we need a little bit of swords here, and we need to find a way to put context to things. So when you're communicating about something, don't scare people with the sort of like going straight to the point. Ease into something and paint the picture so they understand where that exists. And I'm not telling you to avoid going into what you need to say. I'm telling you to set it up so that they understand and don't under or overreact. Context is king. And that's what's going to help this. We need some of that King of Swords energy to help the Page of Pentacles. So stay positive, let them know why you're talking to them, and then get them engaged in what it is that you need assistance with. And I see a lot of productivity here. A Page of Pentacles can get things done. The only thing that happens with pages is sometimes they are the messenger or the in-between or the sort of like, or the person that's taking the notes. So remember that you have a voice too, and don't get stuck in that energy. And don't take the brunt of the criticism just because you're delivering a message if you are indeed delivering a message. If you don't want to deliver a message because something's wrong, say it. So that you can work together and make sure that what you're delivering is something that you believe in as well. And at the end of the day, that last piece is the most important. On Thursday, if you don't believe what you're saying, don't say it yet. Finish what you need to do to get the work done internally to believe it. So if you believe in something, say it and do it. If you don't, get the work done so that you can move past this energy, okay? We do see a rainbow. If there's been anything difficult, I do see a happy ending here. It's just a little bit of rolling up your sleeves and getting the work done, okay? We're now at the end of the work week, and for some of you, it's a sort of like calibration, if you will, because we have the Two of Cups, which is partnership, friendship, relationship energy. It's in reverse, and so for some of you, you're wondering like, why am I not spending enough time with this person? Or how can I prioritize this a little bit more? Or, hey, now is the time that I really want to open myself up for partnership opportunities. And the good news is the energy is cooperating with you on Friday, but there's either one of two things happening. Either you're being encouraged to be more discerning because this can sometimes be unrequited or unwelcomed energy of partnership coming through. So if you don't like what you see, don't say yes. If you're not getting the feedback that you want, whether it's trying to get someone interested in calling you a job or relationship, or you're just not feeling like the other person is listening or connecting with you, they are also sending you a symbol and a signal rather that this isn't the right match. So it should be easy if it's meant to happen. And you can be picky right now if you'd like to. And for some of you, there could just be someone in your life that's missing you. So you're deciding at this moment, what am I going to do about that? Is it something where I want to also spend the same sort of time and energy and I'm going to prioritize it? Or do I just need to put a boundary down because this person doesn't understand that this is all that I can give? Something's coming through that just requires a little bit of attention with respect to relationships. And you always have the capacity to bring that into order. All right, let's take a look at what's going on the weekend here. This is a really unusual illustration for the Eight of Cups. 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah. I always have to count it on this deck because they didn't use a traditional approach. And so I'm just going to pull up the one that I talked about in my channel messages here. So let me just grab this Eight of Cups, and we'll show this one while I'm talking, just because it's a nice sort of like reflection of what's going on. So here's the Eight of Cups here, and this is the very different version of it. So when you look at the slide, you see the person taking a break, a sabbatical, a little bit of movement away. We still got the mountain here, which is cool, but the person's missing, and they've decided to break it, break all the glasses and say, I'm done with that. And the one that I'm featuring here, basically we're seeing that there's space. You can see space right there where they're holding space to come back. What we're seeing here for some of you is you've had the time, the distance, and the space, and you've decided, I really want to choose this opportunity to break the cycle. Let's pull a clarifying card here on this one and see what the cyclical break could be for you. Very interesting how we had a lot of synchronicities in the channel messages with today. Okay, so we've now got the Knight of Pentacles, which is a nice development from what we saw earlier. The card is reversed, so this is really about deciding for you to prioritize yourself, personal growth, personal development, or to take ownership of an idea. We can see that pentacle floating above the head here of this deer, and basically it's saying, all right, I've given this thought, I really feel like I'm behind this. What's holding me back? I'm going to prioritize this. I need to spend some time on me. So it could be deciding to go back to school. It could be making time to do something that's a project. There's a little bit of private time that's associated with this. So incubation, you need to sort of keep this to yourself so that you can see where it's going before another person comes in and decides to put their thumbprints all over it. So creative folk, you understand this the most. When you're painting, when you're writing, when you're building, a lot of times you need to kind of get the skeleton set up before someone comes in and judges what it might be or where it might go. Okay, so it can be a very productive day as we're looking at Saturday, and it does seem to me like the epiphany. It's a whole week almost of moving around, looking at things, thinking about things, and then by the time next Saturday comes, you are ready to go in a new direction. And the energy of the moon has weakened enough that you have your wits about you and you can make a good decision. So I approve. Next Sunday is, if you have to have a difficult conversation or communication, this is probably the best day. We have the Queen of Swords. She is reversed, so she's going to get straight in and out of a kind of conversation, get to the point, and not sugarcoat too much. So give it a week before you decide to do something major. So whether that's give notice, make a move, sign a contract, etc., that's going to give you the time and consideration to basically move through all the different phases here. For many of you, ideation, planning, brainstorming, working with some other people, making sure that you believe in it, definitely by the end of the week. And then as we start to get through the energy of the weekend here, maybe you do partner up with someone, and maybe at some point you're like, yeah, now I know the direction I want to go. All the work that you've done gets you to 1 week from now being ready to take a stand, make a difference, make something really happen in your life. Okay, so it's a pretty good week. Just to highlight the best days and the most challenging days. For productivity, it's Tuesday and Thursday. They're shining stars. For relationships, it's Wednesday. So the middle of the week, as I was kind of predicting when I was talking about the moon, is going to be your best time. Every card is upright. Every card is positive. So that's your most powerful time. Your most creative time, interestingly enough, is probably today and tomorrow. We have the brainstorming energy on Monday. You have a lot of clarity coming through today as you're considering things. The most challenging days are probably going to be Friday and Saturday of the week. Relationships could be pulling you away from productivity or creativity. You could be missing someone or something. And so Friday is a day for reprioritizing and recalibration. And then it feels like you want to kind of focus on yourself on Saturday. I think that Sunday is neither good nor bad. It's a neutral day. It's really a day to get things done and say what you need to say. All right, so that's the week as we're looking at it right now. And now we're going to move into the next part of the reading. So we just did the 7-day forecast. Now we're going to take a look at blessings and blocks. So let me just get the cards kind of rearranged here, and I might move between some different decks on this so that we have some choices and some options before we get into the main part of the reading. All right, give me a moment here. And let's see, I might choose the Fountain Tarot for this. Or, yeah, let's see, actually for this one, we'll do the Wild Unknown. All right, sticking with more of a nature-based card, I'm going to do the Wild Unknown for the Blessing and the Block. Two of my favorite cards in this deck, we have Queen of Wands coming through yet again for the Blessing, and then the Judgment card, or the Great Bear in this particular deck, coming through for the Block. All right, so let's break it down. So the Blessing card, she is reversed in this deck. The interesting thing here is we're focusing more on what you're picking up. Like, I look at the ears on this hair, and to me, it's kind of like two big old satellite dishes picking up on things. So one thing that I'm gathering from this is to not second guess your downloads. You're getting some really great core ideas, gut instincts, intuitive guidance. And if you listen too much or think too much to other people, listen too much to yourself or listen too much to someone else about like why this might not work or whatever, it gets clouded, it gets into your head, you start to close off. So we want to keep that satellite open. We want to keep the downloads coming because, again, at her best, the Queen of Wands can come out with a out-of-the-box idea that is actually going to stick when other things won't, because it's unusual, because it's utilizing things that people wouldn't think. So continue to dream and continue to embrace what those dreams might be able to bring into your life or how they might be able to come into fruition. You can do it, basically, is what this card is saying. Don't doubt yourself, though. And because it's so out there, that's why it's going to work. You know best is the other way that I would kind of put on with this card. So there may be mother or teacher or boss energy coming through, some sort of an authority figure that is trying to come in and change your thoughts. And so you want to stay strong in your thoughts, okay? Now the Block is really interesting because it's a beautiful energy here. Judgment is basically a chance to rewrite, which is what we're talking about, reinvent, but sometimes we're afraid of what may be. I actually see the bear in this card as saying, come on in, I've got your back, I'm going to protect you. But it can also represent the fear of change. Because judgment traditionally it's souls rising from the dead. It's the phoenix rising from the ashes. I've seen it illustrated both ways in different tarot decks. I love it as a reader. I like the big cards when I'm pulling. So I really like to get something like Judgment, the World, Death, or the Fool, because to me, those are the new chapter cards, without a doubt. And this one is welcoming you in. Look behind it. There's an Aurora Borealis, the Northern Lights. We see the Big Dipper. Basically, because it's a bear, it makes sense. It's named after the bear. So what we're seeing now is a chance for you to wake up. I just read for, who's the last time that I did? Virgo. And I believe that the bear came through as a totem. And I was talking about the awakening from hibernation. Sometimes our eyes are a little bit, you got the sleepy sand, you got to stretch a little bit, and you got to get that sort of sense of vitality to get things going. So this is basically saying, wake up, sleepyhead, and let's go for this, because there's a lot of growth and opportunity awaiting for you. Your story is not done, it's just beginning. If one book is finished, another book is ready to be written. It's continuing. It's like that movie, The Never-Ending Story. You just have to keep thinking of new beginnings, new opportunities, new ways, okay? So some of you are just feeling a little bit overwhelmed because we're in this full super flower blood moon. And so don't let today's energy overwhelm you. Little Apollo behind me is sleeping as I'm talking about the moon and barking, which is really cute. It's the only time you're going to hear him bark. All right, so those are your two energies here. Again, don't overthink and don't let someone get in your head. You know best. The blessing is you know what to do. And the block is sometimes it's scary to try something new, but it's worth the experience and it's worth the journey. So we're going to now take a look at, let me see, we'll go to the elemental forecast, which I know all of you love. So we're going to take a look at all of the elements, which is fire, earth, air, and water. For this one, I'm going to use Afro Goddess deck. Every time I put it up in a poll, it hasn't won. So I'm just going to kind of throw it in here for this portion because it's beautiful and it will complement the energies here. All right, so let's take a look here and pull each of the cards, and then I'll break down what their meanings are and how it connects to you. Okay, so we'll start with fire, earth, air, and water. Super interesting as we're pulling today how many times the moon card has come up, and also the Eight of Cups. It just keeps appearing, and it's cool to see those synchronicities. All right, we're going to start off with fire. Fire, you guys have a great card. We have the Lovers coming through for you. The Lovers was reversed. It reminds me a lot of the reversal of the Two of Cups at the end of this week. So, Apollo, what's going on, buddy? Sorry, he's just barking in the background as he's sleeping, probably chasing after a cat in his dreams. All right, so we've got the Lovers card here in reverse. For many of you, you may be doubting your capacity to get something done. And this card is saying, not only can you do it, but you have this really magnetic energy. The key thing for you is to put yourself out there and believe in yourself the way that other people want you to sort of believe in yourself. So see your potential and others will return it in kind. And absolutely, yes, this is a great week for love for you. So prioritize relationships. Decide, for some of you, it is really just, what do I want out of this? What am I getting out of this? What is this other person invested in and sort of hoping to get out of this as well? So I think that across the board, and when we're looking at relationships, I know not all of you are partnered. This could be business partnerships, this could be friendships, but relationships are coming through and they're playing a very important role. So just decide how you want to use this very magnetic energy, and remember that you are bringing just as much to the equation as the other party is. Because sometimes we forget that we are powerful, that we are important. And like Apollo, that we have a voice as he barks in his sleep, which is super cute. You can't see him because he pulled his bed right behind me, but he's sleeping. So even Apollo is giving you a message here to use your voice, fire signs. So this is for Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. It's a good time to prioritize your relationships. People are going to be receptive to it. Don't put yourself second or third. This is a chance to see yourself as equal, okay? One of the best cards in tarot to pull because it's just super positive. The Four of Wands would be very similar because it's showing that you have each other's back. With this one, though, there's a little bit more charisma and there's a little bit more chemistry. So whenever I look at the Magician, the Lovers, let me see if there's one other one, Six of Cups, they're very, very magnetic cards. And there's a lot of chemistry between you and other people. So even if there's a falling away of communication, you can come back, you can find a way to patch it up. So this is great for relationships. Remember the midweek, we had the Ace of Cups, right? So Wednesday is a great day to really partner up, to talk to someone and to get them to see it from your heart, from your perspective. And if you're looking for love, it's a great time to put yourself out there, okay? So fire signs, you got a great week ahead of you. Good for you. Moving on to Earth, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. For you, again, this is about deciding to go your own way if you need to. I like that we see her parting the sea here. If somebody has been in your way, I actually see you being able to sort of like a fly, say, be gone, shoo now. You're basically now focusing on something that's really important to you that seemed impossible before, but now that you're viewing it from a different vantage point and maybe trying it on your own, you realize you had the power all along. And that's one thing that the moon teaches us is sometimes we were mistaken. Sometimes we're much better off than we think. There is illusion, there is projection, there is sometimes misperception that can get in the way of us understanding potential. And you have a lot of potential this week. Trust in the intuition, trust in the gut instinct, and try not to get sort of caught up in the competition that's also a part of this card, okay? So this is releasing the need to prove that you're right, if I had to kind of sum it up in a few words. for all of my earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Okay, good week for you, but that is the only thing that could get in the way is butting of heads, and you don't need to do that. Moving on to air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So you came through pretty strong today because we keep getting Eight of Cups, Eight of Cups, Eight of Cups. So as I was looking at the weekly forecast, right, or I believe, yes, weekly forecast, we got the clarification. So this one's specifically coming through even stronger for air signs. You have the power to break through or to break a cycle. Stay true to your vision. Stay true to your voice, because that is the differentiating factor. There's, a dozen vanilla or chocolate ice cream cones out there. Yours is going to be the pistachio one or the sprinkled one, the one that's different, that's kind of coming out and saying, try me. Your flavor, your vision, your voice is what's unique. Some of you are burned out. Some of you need a break. And this card is saying that before you make the big decision, get some perspective, take a day to the beach or the sand dunes on this card as it were, and just decide, like, I need to understand if it's me, if it's them, or if I've changed so significantly that I'm ready for something different. There's some big shifts coming through for the air signs out there, and it's very important for you to understand where you stand and what you want to do about that sort of changing energy. This is an open door, so I have a bit of good news for some of you that maybe are on the fence. It doesn't have to be yes versus no. You could decide, I need to do this for now, and then I'll maybe come back to this. So things like a sabbatical, a leave of absence, or quitting, but having an open door, that's possible. The only sort of messier component here is if you're in a relationship, you might be sort of left in that limbo of, well, where do we stand? What are we going to do? So it may be up to you at the end to sort of be the voice that breaks the sort of like never-ending cycle of start, stop, on and off, on and off. So I think that's the big opportunity here is, when is enough enough? When are you willing to take that plunge? For some of you, it will be now. For some of you, you're going to wait another cycle or so, retrograde cycle or lunar cycle, before you make that decision. Okay? But by and large, this is good. It's opening up to new things, and it's remembering that it's important to allow for space and time for things to develop, which is a common theme and a common thread of what we've been talking about. For Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, all of my water signs, you actually have some good news en route. We have the Page of Pentacles coming through. There could be an offer on the table. There could be an invitation. Someone could be asking you out. You may also have this idea. Again, remembering that some of what we were seeing here could also connect with some of you where we have the Knight here, but it's the same thing. What do I want? Where do I stand? You seem to be a little bit further along than some of the air signs are right now, and you're ready to go to the next phase, the next step. But this is good. Very productive and practical sort of energy with this. So when it comes to business, work, and money, I feel like all of my water signs are going to get a lot of work done this week. So that's good for you as well. And if you want something, ask for it. You have a better chance of receiving it when you have a sign like this, or a symbol like this. And if we just look at the overarching energy for all of the different elements, just to give us sort of like a big picture here, we have this lovely energy of partnership, again, that came through for fire. We have understanding and trusting and going kind of down your own path that came for earth. We have time, space, decision-making that's coming through for the air signs. And then we have the opportunity here. It kind of is a story. Your heart starting to bring you in a new direction. It's opening up paths that you didn't expect. You may need to take some time and space, and then you know what to do. So the different elements are in different levels of this ultimate card here, but I actually see a story unfolding here, depending on where you're at and where your placements are, okay? So that's everything at the beginning here that we would normally look at. I think today we may hold the viewer's choice until later, and we may try something different with respect to the moon. Let me see here. I think we should hold anyway on the viewer's choice because I want to see where we're taken on the main sort of like reading. And there is a lot to look at today. We have two things. We have the blood moon, and I feel like I already gave you past, present, and future on that. So I think I still need a full Celtic cross to look at. It's a two-pronged topic here. writing a new chapter and stopping like repeating history. So if we do the Celtic cross, we'll split it up in two, and I'm going to focus on the past for everything that's in the past, and then the future for everything that's outside of that. So I think rather than pulling different things, we'll keep it as a Celtic cross because I can pretty much see everything that I need to see by doing that. And then after that, if we have time, because I've been short on time, we can do the viewer's choice. I may cut it to just a reader's choice, but I like to change up the order in which I do things sometimes. So hopefully that will help. All right, I'm going to keep the voting of which deck you want me to use because I think you guys enjoy having a voice on that. So let's see here. I'll show you what I'm brainstorming with here. I feel like we used this one enough today. I'll put it to the side though. I do like True Heart Intuitive, so I may keep that one in there. Let's see. Because we have sort of celestial energy, I may pull the Star Seeker. You guys seem to love the Fountain deck. I have both Field and Fountain, but I'll do Fountain perhaps for today. And then maybe I'll pull in Light Seekers, because that seems to be a personal favorite. Maybe one of these two. Let's see. I wish I didn't have to choose because I like them all. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to figure out which one to pull out of this mix. And I feel like we don't need this one. All right. Well, here, I'm going to do this. I'm going to pull the ones that have the highest cards. And this will help me. All right, so the King of Cups, Fountain staying in, Temperance is staying in, Queen of Pentacles staying in. Yeah, okay, so this one gets thrown out, I guess. Star Seeker gets thrown out. And then of the remaining ones, feels like the Queen of, okay, so I do love this Jupiter one. All right, so I'm gonna do this. These are the ones that we're choosing from. All right. And I'm gonna let you select. Okay, and then for some of the other cards, if we do viewer's choice, I'll pull some of the other ones. There's no bad choices here. I just need to move forward. All right, so we have the Wild Unknown. We have the True Heart Intuitive. We have Fountain Tarot, and we have the Light Seers deck here. And if I have a chance, I might pull a few from the Star, what is the other one here? The Star Seeker, because they're both good. All right, but we need to move forward. So make a choice based on that. And I'm going to pour myself some water while you're doing that, and then we'll get started. All right, looks like we have True Heart Intuitive in the lead, which is a good choice for today. Some great energy. Now it's Light Seers. While you're voting, let me show you a couple of cards. So you know this one because we worked with it, Wild Unknown. This is the one that is True Heart Intuitive that was in the lead but now is in second place. A very sort of unusual approach. This is a very light ethereal deck known as Fountain Tarot. One of my two sort of abstract ones, Field Tarot, is very similar, but I like this one quite a bit. And then we have the Light Seers deck, which is a perennial favorite. I pull it a lot here because it wins and people like it. All right, I'm going to end the poll. Vote now or forever hold your peace. And let's see which one wins. All right, so we have Light Seers, 32%, True Heart Intuitive, 31%, so close. I'll keep it to the side, and if I feel like I want to pull some additional cards from that, I will. That's often what I do when it's a tie or when it's really close. So don't worry, we'll get both of them in here, especially if I end up doing reader's, viewer's choice and big idea. There's a chance for all of these. Okay, so let's focus on the special topic today. Again, the special topic is writing a new chapter to stop repeating history. So we're just going to do a full Celtic cross, and I'm going to split it like diagonally, and one will be what the cycle is that you are kind of like stuck in, and then the other one is going to be the advice, because it basically does show the past and the future, and so it makes a lot of sense. And if I need to, I'll use the deck that came in second to pull an extra card for each. We may not need the the viewer's choice, because I have like a lot of readers' questions as we go through the energy today. I do love this deck, so you guys made a great choice. There's no wrong decisions here. I will not present decks that are not going to help us out, so don't worry. So whereas the first part of the reading tends to be for 7 days, this part can actually be used anytime you need it. So there is a sort of timeless or evergreen quality to it. So if you ever find yourself at a precipice where you're like, I'm stuck, I keep doing the same thing and I want to try something new. How do I get out of repeat? How do I write a new chapter and stop repeating stuff that's not working? Well, you can look at this part of the forecast, even if it's like 2 years in the future. Already we have just some beautiful messages coming through. Okay, so let's break this down. So we have Lord Ganesha coming through with your catalyst message, which is saying, hey, I know it's difficult. Have courage. It reminds me a lot of the strength card here, right down to like a lion at the bottom, right? I'm looking at all the different tools in Ganesha's many hands, and it takes time, it takes courage, it takes conviction, and it takes a little bit of elbow grease to get things done. So in order to write that new chapter in your life, it's multifaceted. It doesn't happen overnight. We look at a lot of things on social media now more than TV, but on social media, and it feels like people are overnight successes. Truth of the matter is, a lot of people have been at this for a long time. Whether it's a musician and all of a sudden there's this hit single and they've actually been making records for like 10 years, or there's an author and you think like they're an overnight success, but they have 3 books and multiple other things that they've been working on, different projects, and it's sort of like, no, it took a minute or two, right? So keep working hard. And part of what I was talking about, this is the whole eclipse energy coming through one more time, saying just because it hasn't happened doesn't mean that it won't, and doesn't mean that it isn't already starting to manifest. So have courage, stay strong, and be willing to take the risk of failure at the end of the day. And as I'm talking to you right now, I feel right there, happens a lot, like this big punch in my belly from some of you that feel like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can, the birthing energy, it's the sort of letting go. So you can, and that's where I'm feeling the most. And for some of you, it could be from your family, whether it's your mom or your dad or an aunt or an uncle or whoever your sort of parental figure is. They could have a really tight rein on you. And part of what you need to do right now is to free yourself. It could be your partner as well, like whoever you're married to. Somebody's kind of in there and holding on tight, and they're afraid for your failure or success. But their fear is, again, a cord that's holding you back. So have the courage to release that. We have 2 strength cards here. One that's coming through in the sort of unconventional sense here with Lord Ganesh. And then we have the strength card, which I think it's my current favorite strength, because it is the combination of divine masculine and feminine. We have the woman, and then we have the lion, or we could just put it together and call her a lioness, but she's got both divine masculine and feminine energy here. So you are everything that you need to be. Someone else in your life can't force you to do something. We don't see the normal sort of, what would you call that? Basically overpowering of energy that we would see in the traditional strength card, where she's trying to control the mouth of the beast. It isn't a beast, it's just energy. So You are not controlled. You are not subservient to someone. Don't let someone else put words in your mouth. Vice versa. Don't try to control anyone else. This is a time to put that energy to your own sort of like uses and decide, I'm not going to try to control. I'm not going to fight someone else that's trying to control me. I'm really going to focus on what I need to do. I'm going to stand in my truth. I'm going to say what I need to say, and that person can go or stay because that's a waste of time and energy. Back to the moon that we talked about earlier, okay? You are the creator. You are connected to the creative force. If we view like God in the universe as the source, we are all conduits of it. We're all basically plugged in. So the magician is at its most powerful when it believes in its ability to create. So the magician's here saying, I see the possibilities. I am creating it. I'm not going to get distracted. And as long as I do that, great things will happen. Reversed magician. I don't know what to focus on. I doubt my powers. It's not going to happen. I don't have the same ability as someone else. It's all of the fears and limiting words. So you just want to take those and reverse them and say, I'm finally clarifying what it is that I want. Things may have eluded me before, but not anymore because I believe in what I can do and I know how I'm going to do it. And I'll find a way. I'll find a way. So the magician is very crafty, very kind of hopeful, and continues to kind of experiment. Just like I used the metaphor of a chef earlier. If it doesn't work with this timing, cook it a little longer or a little less. Try a different ingredient here. You have to keep mixing and matching until you get the right potion. And that's basically what the magician is saying. It may not have worked before because not everything was aligned. So just keep trying. You won't know unless you try. Many of you already know that something's done, but you don't want to believe it. You may also have been told that something is over, but you weren't ready to believe that either. And for those of you who have lost something in your life, maybe it was taken before you wanted it to be taken. Specifically when we lose someone that we love. The thing is, with judgment, it tells us this. You're already there, and that other thing is already beyond. Holding on to what was, or kind of bargaining. It's one of the phases of grief, right? I could have done this. What if that would have happened? If only I could do this, or I would do anything if. Judgment can be the bargaining stage when it really needs to be the sort of like, it's somewhere between bargaining and acceptance. So once you accept it, you're free. And look at how happy that person coming out is. They're free. They're like, thank goodness. We don't have to beat ourselves up anymore about would've, could've, should've. We're not in denial of what's actually happening. We see it, we believe it, we embrace it. And the worst that will happen is I have to try it a few times, but this is a rubber band kind of card where I can keep bouncing back. I can keep coming back from a failure, from a mistry, from a misfire. So you can come out of this judgment energy as many times as you need to. It's got immortality in it. So all you have to do is to keep trying and then trust that eventually one of these is going to stick and you're going to be able to rise above and it's going to be worth the work. Okay? That's the hardest piece. Acceptance. Judgment is also acceptance, and it doesn't work until acceptance happens. When any of the other phases of grief come through, the judgment card stagnates. But once acceptance happens, you are free. You are onto the world card, which is expansion and new things, and it's exciting, okay? This is what we should all be doing, and if we haven't done it, we should be doing it now, collectively. This is a collective reading. So this is what I featured on one of my slides here for what you can do. Set intentions, plant a seed. For some of you, it's already been planted in your brain, but you haven't maybe given it the time and energy that it needs to grow. Because again, all of these cards here until I hit even up to the top card, it's really about the past. So these are the things that need to be stopped. You're repeating history because so far maybe distraction or disbelief, and maybe also a lack of acceptance. There could be bargaining or denial going on. So once we get those energies out of the way, then we have this powerful creative card, and then we have a bounce back or rise from the ashes sort of energy. So they've always been there, but there's been lower frequencies muddying the waters. Now you can get to business and you can focus on the thing that you already know you should be focusing on. I have the power to do it. I want to do it. Why am I not doing it? For some of you, that is deciding to go to school. For some of you, this is deciding to just explore some different path that you haven't already. It could also be presenting an idea or a vision, or it could be asking someone something. Do you want to partner up in business? Do you want to get married? What do you think about this? It's communicating and putting yourself out there, but it is a piece of yourself. It's a birthing sort of energy. So to do that requires sort of like a toughening of the skin, so that if someone says no or I don't like it, you're not going to like fall backward and faint. It's sort of understanding that there's always going to be a little pushback. Although, if you really get these energies put in the right direction, if you believe in yourself and you are already in this energy, what'll happen is that sometimes people will feel that and they catch up. They're like, absolutely, like, let's get started right now. So if you do the homework, this is a Jack and the Beanstalk bean instead of just an Ace of Pentacles seed or bulb here. It will grow overnight, but it depends wholly on how much work you've done internally. It's not always going to be clear cut. And this is probably the thing that's been most difficult for some of you. We wish that there was an instruction book on how to succeed in relationships, in business, and being a good parent, in anything. But the path is often, we're blindsided sometimes. All you have to do is admit maybe in that moment that you don't have all the information. Talk to the person in front of you, listen to your heart, and go with what feels the best. If you're not an expert, find an expert if you need to. But the Two of Swords is a surprise. It can be a good surprise, an unexpected surprise. This doesn't mean that it's a fluke. It doesn't mean that, that the universe has no pattern. It means that you called in a lesson in the form of a surprise, so that your faith could be tested, so that your ability to think on your feet could be tested, and to teach you that ambiguity doesn't always equal failure, and it doesn't always mean that you're blocked. Ambiguity is just an energy in the universe that's around us sometimes. We don't always get to see everything. Sometimes it's so that we can be swept off our feet, right? Isn't it cool to have someone come in and just pay attention to you, or acknowledge you, or you get some sort of like support that was unexpected? Surprises can be good. So let's expect a good surprise. You can manifest this because you're watching this and it's timeless. And in the past, surprises may have taken you a little bit out of your comfort zone, but think, well, sometimes it can be good. Sometimes the surprise can be more than I thought possible. So when you manifest, you should always tag on something like this. I'm open to love and abundance in the highest forms, far beyond anything that I imagined, in the highest light. That means that I thought this was possible, but if you think I can achieve more or receive more, I'm open and willing to receive it, even if it surprises me, especially if it does in a positive way. So maybe there's a gift from the universe, and if you limit yourself to only what's in front of you, wow, that's going to cut off so many opportunities. So that would be what I would talk to like an atheist sometimes. I doubt there's many atheists that are watching my channel, but I do have friends in my life, many actually, that are on both sides of the equation, some that are very faith and spirit based, and I have a few friends that are atheists. But if I was talking to an atheist and they were just closed off to everything, I would ask them, I would say, how do you think like science advances? We go down a possibility, like a theory, we experiment, we play around with things a little bit. To believe that everything that is in front of you is all that there ever was or will be is a very limiting thought. To believe that only something that's in black and white or presented to you can be all that there is, basically closes you off from exploration and discovery. So before you disbelieve, before you discount, explore, discover, inquire, consider. And that's what this Two of Swords is asking you to do to break the cycle. because sometimes you haven't given yourself enough room to what if, ... What if I tried this? What if this is possible? Maybe I could try it this way. Research and development is all about trying the impossible. So when we stop dreaming, when we stop believing, when we stop asking questions and looking beyond what's in black and white, we stop growing, we stop living. So never stop thinking that something else could be possible. Somehow we got deep, but that's what came through with the Two of Swords, and I've never really taken it to that energy before, but I'm using the frame of what you wanted me to look at today for that. All right. So those are the things that could have been roadblocks in the past. We're starting to turn the sort of wheel here a little bit, and now we're looking at what's in your head and what's available to you. So now the focus is on writing the new chapter. These were powerful cards in and of themselves, but they could have been the limits. Now we're looking at the openings starting to happen here. So we have the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is reversed. And this is, for some of you, sort of in your headspace, understanding that it's okay for me to do something that feels right here. Sometimes the heart knows what the head is afraid to consider. So it's prioritizing your heart. It's prioritizing happiness. It's opening up to feeling your way through a situation. Also, there could be love and partnership that's a part of this. And some of you may have thought in the past, I'm very, very independent. I can do this on my own. And this particular card is saying you can, but there may be power in numbers here. And so someone else may be just as passionate, if not more passionate, about what it is that you want to do next in your life than you are. So open your heart to the potential, open your mind to the potential, and see where that takes you, okay? If you've been closed to love, the universe is challenging you. There might be love coming into your life. Maybe you've been widowed, or you're a widower, or you've been divorced, or you just don't care so much about relationships. There could be something really valuable coming in with respect to love and relationships, and we'll explore it when I expand this forecast in just a few moments. But love plays an important role in a way that it hasn't before, okay? Let's look at the future here for you. This is the first card showing near future, and this is your outcome. So we have the Nine of Cups here, more expansion here on the heart space. You deserve to be happy. If anyone in your life told you you didn't deserve to be happy, this illustration in particular is showing the power of joy. Now, Nine of Cups can be over the top, and so sometimes we want to make sure that we don't go so far down a path that we lose our mental clarity or acuity. But when we truly try something from a different perspective, isn't it cool to see where it leads? And this one is saying, let your heart take you to that next mountaintop that you thought you couldn't climb. Joy, passion, and just really being connected and committed. It'll surprise you in how much it fuels you, okay? Extremes can be okay sometimes, like really going out there and really trying something different, because this is in near future and it is in what's kind of propelling you into that. So passion, that's the most important thing. Do you feel it? Do you feel inspired? Or are you feeling this sense of, I have to do this again, whether it's have a conversation, go to work, or do some sort of an activity? If you're dragging your feet rather than running out the door, that's a big sign and symbol that you may have outgrown this exchange. It's not until we wake up that we start to really feel our potential as well. Let's see, what are we now? Almost like, it's like 3 weeks into me having to get up every morning at 3 a.m. I'm now used to it. But I go to bed like an old man at 7 or 8 o'clock at night. But once I reset my circadian rhythms, I was okay with that. And now when I get up, I'm like, all right, it's going to be a good day. And I'm not going to do this forever, but while I have to do it, I can do it. We can change, we can move, we can shift. I want you to find that extra energy, make it happen. You might have to do what I'm doing, where you're just changing your routine a bit, but you can find a place to create, to do, to set aside a little time for yourself, okay? Let's move into how your soul is showing up right now. What's going on with you? Well, you've already got one foot out the door. I love this Six of Swords card. It's reversed, but let's just look at it first. We see 3 birds behind, 3 birds in front. We see the birds in front carrying her. And basically, she is half in, half out. There's a question being asked to this Six of Swords card, which is, where do you want to go? Which way are you headed? And it's also a question of faith. Do you believe? And if not, then why? So you've got both decision cards here, and I just now paid attention to it. Judgment and justice. We'll cover the connection in just a second, but the first thing that's important here is until you believe and until you decide, it's hard to figure out where to go. It's kind of like if you've ever hopped on a bike or gotten in your car, or maybe you're on a bus and you don't know the destination. You're just traveling for the sake of traveling. You're ambling around a little bit. You can get to the destination faster when you know what the destination is. So this week, and then the remainder of this month, I think the most powerful thing you could do is to decide, how far have I come? Where exactly am I? And what's next? And they can take some time to figure out. Because as adults, especially, those of you that are still in school, you've got plenty of time, and you can even course correct right now. The further you get in your life, once you have children, once you buy a house, once you, maybe you've lived 50, 60 years, when you make the changes, then it feels like it's harder because there's a lot more baggage and there's a lot more that's coming along with you for the journey. So you can still make the changes. You just have to be a lot more clear on why you're making the changes. You can change at any life point, any level of being. So it doesn't matter, like, again, 6, 16, 66, 106, I don't care. Whatever your age is, you can always make the change, but it just requires a little bit more caution and a little bit more consideration as you go further down that path. So for some of you, that's what it is. It's like, what do I want to take with me, and what am I sacrificing when I do this? So once you've decided the trade-offs, then it's going to be quick sailing for you. So sit down, write a list, what to do, what not to do. We have death and rebirth in both of these cards. This one can sometimes be the delivery of the news. This can be the acceptance of the news as well. But it's not quite there because we also have a belief-disbelief card here with justice. Justice in reverse is typically saying, I don't want to do this, or I don't believe in this, or I don't deserve this. It's a no. The I don't want to, or the simple no, is super powerful. For many of you, there's something in the environment that's begging a no. So you can just simply say, no, that's not good enough for me, or I don't want to do this anymore, or thank you, no. No is powerful, and we want to embrace that higher version of the no. Some of you need to find a balance in your life that might have just escaped you because of everything that you've been working on. And so justice reverse is coming in to say, this doesn't work anymore. We need to find where we sit on this. We need to find balance. So equaling out the scales, also good. The other thing here, and this is coming as a potential block, even though we covered a bunch of them already, is testing how much you believe that you deserve something. This is disbelief, or this is feeling sometimes the energy of imposter syndrome, right? So let me put it to you this way. If someone you respect presents you with an opportunity and you respect their judgment and they tag you and think you can do it, and up until now, they haven't been wrong, could this sense of, I can't do it, simply be fear? Could it just be the unknown? Why not see where that brings you? And if you're given an opportunity by the universe, it's actually asking you, do you want this? Do you believe in yourself? So belief and that sort of inner sort of decision of, can I, can't I, will I, won't I? It's the most important thing, because the universe is constantly providing opportunities to you. So why not try? Why not give it your best foot forward and see where it leads? It's a lot more powerful than not trying. The only time to not do this is if you're being set up way in over your head. We all know when that happens. If there's something where you're just lacking the necessary qualifications or experience, by all means, just say, I want to do that, but ask me again in 6 months or after I get this degree or whatever. There may be points where you know that you don't have it. But when there's just the fear of, can I do this? But you have all the experience, I don't want that to hold you back, okay? So if it's clearly a bad fit, say no. If it's just fear or uncertainty, look at who's offering it, look at what other people are saying around you, and also look at what you've done to open up the synchronicity, which is what it is, and maybe give it a shot. Because I feel like this one's more fear-based, based on what I'm seeing here. Because I see at the center, you have the power and potential. You were ready for a change and you've done the work. It could be a happy surprise. You may just not be used to getting what you like or what you want, but it's time to make that change. It's time to make that shift, okay? So don't hold back because of fear. Don't hold yourself back because of fear. Some of you need to go away from something so that the new chapter can open up. You already know you can do this, and you are going to be fine. So for those of you that want to quit, get a divorce, move like I'm moving, stop something and start something new, that's what we see. This is the old. And then you have a manifestation card and a card showing that you can do it. That's why I'm not afraid of this, because justice leads to high priestess and strength. It's a nice equation that we're seeing. But for some of you, you have to go away from something. Quit a job, leave a relationship, move from a house, say no to something that someone wants you to do so you can say yes to something that you want to do. So breaking the mold is in the environment, and it's shaking the tree, and people are going to be a little bit, they're going to question you. So whenever you do this, I'm sure you've experienced this before. Sometimes if you want to quit, people will try to keep you. There may be some sort of an offer that they put on the table. Or if you try to break up, someone will say, I'll do anything to make you stay. You don't have to say yes to those counters if you've already made your mind up. It's nice to know and it's nice to hear that there's still value and there's still interest, but don't let something that brought you out of your comfort zone keep you in that energy as well. Pardon me while I clean my glasses. And I think that's the main thing to look at with respect to the Justice card. All right. We're going to go next to High Priestess. High Priestess is all about manifestation, and she's learned the lessons of the Magician. She's more focused. There's no sense of disbelief with her. And she knows that sometimes you see things before they happen, which has been one of the main messages that I've been trying to kind of like impart upon you today. So if we look at this card here, we can see her eyes kind of coming through the eyelids there. So she's seeing beyond, and this was really what the Two of Swords was also asking you to do. It may seem like a block, it may seem impossible. Keep on looking at what you're trying to do. It's not your imagination. We see the crown chakra receiving insight and intuition just as strongly, if not more so, than the third eye. So you're meant to look at and see something from a different perspective. You're meant to see it before other people can see it, and it's going to be okay. So there's a lot of staying clear to your, finally my glasses are clean. It took a minute. It takes a moment to do what I was doing, to clear away all of the sort of fog so that you can get that, so you can believe what you're seeing, okay? It's going to come through possibly with the moon energy first. A gut instinct, your heart's going to tell you something. It may then come in through dreams and meditations, and then eventually it's kind of like a drum beating and you can't stop hearing or seeing something that you're supposed to do. You have the capacity to manifest. So by all means, manifest. Work on over the next month or so, I would say, because this part, it's evergreen, but like any Celtic cross, when I read it, it can take you through a 6 to 8 week journey. So towards the end is when you really start to realize, oh my God, I totally could do this. I am doing this. And you may decide to do this solo. The outcome card is strength. You have the capacity to do it on your own. You always did have the capacity to do it on your own. So go for it, okay? Take a role that's unexpected. That's what this card is also asking you to do. It breaks down expectations by age, gender, background, etc. They're just lenses like mine, and sometimes they need to be popped out and something new needs to be put in, or sometimes you don't need them at all. They don't serve you. So look beyond the lenses of whatever people are expecting and go toward the unexpected. Let's go ahead now and take a look at your expanded forecast. It takes a different form when I'm doing a special topic. Today, we're going to be looking at it through the lens of either something to stop or something to create. It's going to help one way or the other, and it may help with both. So let's begin with your health card, which is going to be mind, body, and spirit. And we have unconditional love, divine mother energy coming through. Thank you for helping me give and receive the love I deserve. Okay, so this card was reversed, and it's in health. Some of you may have been conditioned or taught that your happiness wasn't as important as others. And that's not true. I think that everybody has a chance to experience joy and happiness. Sometimes in a relationship, especially if we play the role of parent, we will put our child first because that's just a paternal or maternal instinct. We want to take care of something or someone that we love. But we always must protect ourselves, particularly when someone depends upon us. So you're equal to that which you protect. Because if you're protecting a child and you fall out of the equation, that child has to fend for itself. So your well-being is just as important. Same thing in a partnership. If you believe someone needs you, you owe it to them and to yourself to take care of yourself. So self-care is important. The other thing here is we're looking at no strings being attached to your expectations. So conditional love. I will love you as long as you do this. Don't ever date this kind of person. Don't ever do this type of job. Otherwise, I'll disown you. Don't hang out with these kinds of people or I won't like you. That is conditional. That's ugly, actually. All of those statements are ugly. So what you want to do instead is the question to someone who presents to you something that triggers you. You want to say, are you happy? If they're happy, then say, I'm happy for you. Help me understand how this makes you happy would be the next sort of thing. It's not up to them to educate you all the time, but if it's your child or something, just say, help me understand. That's an okay thing if you lack the capacity to understand. Now, if you're the child and you're grown up and you lack the unconditional love, I'm here to just say today that you deserve to be happy. You are more than enough, and this is your time to shine, okay? Mom, dad, teacher, parent can't always do that for you. Sometimes they lack the capacity. But that doesn't mean that you lack anything. And just because you did something that was built in that made you happy and it upset or disappointed them, that's on them. They failed you. You didn't fail them. Okay? So everybody out there, you deserve happiness. And if that means marrying someone that they don't want you to marry or doing something that someone didn't want you to do or whatever, as long as you're happy, it's not hurting anybody, and the universe is continuing to kind of spin, who cares, okay? We need to take the conditions away. Anybody that's putting conditions on you for acceptance, they never accepted you to begin with. So move into the energy of people that see you and celebrate you. And again, everybody can relate to this because we've all been rejected for some reason. Too young, too old, not pretty enough, not experienced enough. Not tall enough, whatever. There's something out there. Someone's put a condition on what they expected of you, and you didn't meet the condition, so they rejected you. So I always like to say this, that type of rejection is typically a protection from the universe. That's not a good energy. You can't necessarily change them overnight. I will say when it comes to parents, though, they can change. And usually when you say, I love you no matter what, why don't you love me? Irrespective of this or this. When you're willing to love and accept me unconditionally, call me. Until then, I don't need this anymore. You can't do it when you're 10 or you're 15, I get it. But as you're older, you can do that. You can decide, until you're ready to love and see me, I can't put myself in a place of pain or rejection. But the door is open and the phone works. So open up if you need to. It's a very clear message. It's all emotional. This particular message, we're not focusing on health. We're focusing on emotions. It can be mind, body, or spirit. This is emotional, and that's what I'm going to stay on. I'm not going to try to find something that doesn't exist. This is conditional love. Somewhere you need to release a conditional relationship and make room for an unconditional one. Just looking at the cards and seeing if there's any other messages with respect to health. Many of you already know what you need to do. It's about acceptance. This is knowing. This is accepting. This is hearing. This is believing. And together the two are deciding that this is good, okay? Your heart matters. Your happiness matters. Love yourself and other people will love you. Love yourself, I've said this before, love yourself enough to lose someone or to walk away from something that's not a fit. Because unlike the Four of Pentacles, there's no disbelief that this is all that there is, that this is as good as it gets, that you only deserve this. And this will help you in everything, from negotiating a higher salary at a job, to making sure that your partnership makes sense, to getting out of a place like this that doesn't respect me. I'm not putting up with it. I'll get out within a few months. I'm not going to take forever. Whenever something like that happens, same sort of energy. That's conditional. That's disrespect. You just decide to move to the next thing, next level. Okay? Let me see if there's anything else that I want you to pay attention to. Some of you had a close call, brush with death, or an experience that awakened you. Good, because that actually is very clarifying for you. Just one health note. Don't ignore something. The Two of Swords can be sweeping it under the curtain or under the, not under the curtain, but under the rug. Don't ignore something that's happening. Have the courage to ask about it. Pay attention to what's going on. And you can avoid this if you need to. Moving and movement is a key piece of this. Moving on, bouncing back, because Judgment is second chances. Six of Swords is moving. And Justice is just deciding what makes sense for you and deciding which direction to move. Okay? Finally, really making sure that your body is in the best condition possible. And I'm not a doctor, so standard disclaimers apply on this. You go work with a professional to decide what that means, and you look within to decide what that means. But the stronger your physical body is, the more you can be the High Priestess. And that's why we actually saw these cards kind of stacked on top of each other. Strong body allows for a strong mind. So take care of your physical being. Now more than ever. In wealth, we have ancestral energy coming through. So this is actually a cool blessing for some of you. We're talking about things you can break or make. Basically, if I kind of like rephrase this. So writing a new chapter and stopping the old cycles. So if you're in a family where traditionally there hasn't been a chance to like save money or grow your finances, you're going to heal this karmic release, healing the lineage, boundaries. You're going to say no to people that try to take advantage of you. You're going to say, I am more than the sum of my genes or my ancestral sort of line. I'm a new seed in this sort of tree, right? Family tree. And one of the cool things that I like about the movie Practical Magic is, without big spoilers, one of the things that they're trying to break is that sort of family ancestral energy. Two sisters are basically the key to having a breakthrough on that. So you can do it. And a lot of it is just the decision that you're more than the sum of your family or your experiences. You have free will, and that free will is the most powerful gift that we all have on this planet at this time. It's a big deal, actually. So just choose differently and decide like it's going to be different for me. All right? You can also call upon ancestors to help. So I have a lot of family in spirit now. So now when there's something big, I ask for assistance from the trusted ones that I really kind of connected with. And I'll say, help me see. It's ultimately up to me. I don't necessarily ask for a sign or symbol. I'll just say, help me understand, or help me have the insight to know what to do. Because I realize at this point in my life, it's me. I have to make the choices. There's nobody that I can go to for guidance. So I go within, I go above, and I try to get the best lens that I can, and then I move forward. And that's what you can do too. We are, at the end of our lives, we have to we outlive our parents, and we have to be more than our parents were. That's their hope for us anyway. And if you have anyone in your life that doesn't want you to get above them, you're too big for your britches or something like that, that's conditional energy. They should want you to be 10 times better than they were so that the family can continue to thrive, okay? So that's another thing that we're breaking, is the feeling like I can't do better than my brother, my sister, my mother, or my father, or my cousins, or the family history, which maybe something you're not proud of or whatever. That doesn't matter. They're just people that were around you that brought you into the world, but they are not you. So this is your chance to say, so be it. It gave me all the context that I needed to really make a difference now. Some of you may choose to reach out and help people because we have this ancestral and karmic healing energy coming through here. So you may decide, I want to make a difference somehow here, okay? Let's look real quick and see if there's some specific messages around a career shift that some of you might have. First of all, it could be radical. The Judgment and Justice and Six of Swords cards are big movements. So if you have the courage, you'll be led down that right path, and that's what we saw with Lord Ganesh coming through. As long as the heart is in the right place, that's really key as well. And for many of you, you're just being called to a more creative path. Could be healing, like I said. You might be deciding to go into medicine or teaching or support, coaching, etc. Helping others do better. On some level, I guess that's what I'm doing here, right? Because I started off my career in more of a corporate fashion, and then now I've moved to more of sort of like healing, coaching, teaching. But that's, I think any of us on this planet that have been around for a while, that's something that you're drawn to. Like, I want to make sure that things are better the next time I reincarnate. So if I can help a bunch of people become their best, we help the planet improve. So anyway, there is this sort of movement. It is big. It's not a subtle movement for many of you. It does feel like you want to do something different, markedly different. So this is maybe deciding to go to school or write a book or build a house, do something big, and you have to figure out the blueprint for it. It's not just a small or subtle move. Some of you need to actually get physically away from where you're at in order to open that next window or door of opportunity. So the move, if you're considering a move, is good. Breaking up or breaking a contract or something is also something that's necessary, releasing a contract. And then the most important thing as you do these big pivotal shifts is to be strong, feel like you're strong in your resolve, continue to receive and believe, and then decide that you're worth the opportunity that you're creating. I feel like that's all you need to hear on that. So I'm going to move on to relationships. So you're not stuck and you're not alone and things can get better. That's basically what this card is saying. You may be at there's different ways that I can look at relationships. We have expect miracles here. The card is reversed. Some of you have been given a lot of difficulties right now. We've all been through a tough period over the past 2.5 years, almost 3 years, where the world has changed and we've been moving along and trying to change, but a lot of us have lost people, some through illness, some through just, age and other circumstances. Many of us feel like we're in a new place, and you might be thinking, it could be fresh, a new relationship. What am I doing? Am I going to be okay? Or you could be walking a path alone. And this card is saying, expect something really great to happen in this unexpected, undiscovered country. So we're going to look at this in 3 perspectives. Relationships, existing ones, new ones that you could be calling in if you're seeking love, and then those of you that are just open to any message. And then we're almost to whatever I'm going to do next, because I'm kind of winging the last portion here, so stick around. All right, so for those of you in a current relationship, you can't fake it, is what I see here. The Magician card is chemistry, and it's that, I don't know, it's this, you can't quite put your finger on it, like why you're with someone. It's that. It's the soul connection. So it's either there or it's not. And if you have been dating someone for a while, or you've been with someone for a while and you're trying to decide what the next level is, if that piece is missing, then it's fair to say that that's a mismatch. So if you don't feel it, don't do it. This is also true. We could even take relationships and love and passion and put that lens over anything in your life. If you do not feel a legitimate connection to it, it's time to move in a different direction, okay? So that's message number 1 for those in a relationship. Message number 2 is you and your partner need clear lines and clear decisions on what it is that you seek. The only way that you can really show up for each other is to state intentions and have a common kind of goal and interest. So a big part of this is like, what next? Because I feel some of you have actually already learned the initial lesson that you were meant to learn when connecting with this person. So this is karma released. That's the end. This is by the way, this is a karmic partnership. This is death and rebirth. So one life and now a new life. So judgment comes through to tell me that this is karmic soulmate energy. Six of Swords is also past life, but it could say that I've moved past the last lesson and the present lesson. What do I want now? And Justice isn't going to make a mistake. She's strong in both positions. So you just have to decide, do I want to stay with this or move on? If you decide to stay, and if you decide to go, the result is the same. It's basically asking you to make a decision. You already know what to do. I'm not here to tell you that. But then the Nine of Cups says follow your heart. And the Strength card tells me that if you decide to go at this alone, you'll be fine. The one thing that has to exist in existing relationships, if you decide to stay together and stick it out, is there is no longer like who's the boss. You're equals. So the one thing that I can help you with to make your decision is, do you feel like an equal in your partnership? Do you still feel the thrill and the passion, the connection? Even if it's changed, it changes as we get to know someone. But do you still feel passionate about your relationship? And do you feel on a daily basis like it's something that you look forward to seeing more of? Do you look forward to seeing your partner's face? Do you want to meet them after work and have dinner and talk about your day or whatever? Look at that. Make a decision. See where you're at. Recalibrate. I think the main message I would say is recalibration, because both of these are optimistic cards, but you just have to recalibrate. If you're looking for love this month, you can do it. These three cards are the same. Expect miracles, create miracles, work your magic. So if you are looking for love, set your intentions, but then clean up your life. The other piece here for those looking for love, because this is rising up and cleaning up. This is possibly moving on, moving away, releasing. You don't want to be on the rebound when you connect with someone new. So clean up your life, clean up your energy, clean up your emotions, and then move fully on to the next phase. And then say, with or without, I'm ready to receive. I can do it with someone, I can do it without, but I prefer with. And then focus on the next level, and we see someone coming in, possibly a Leo. Really strong, really higher energetic person, because if you combine the High Priestess and the Strength card, that's a really amazing partner, okay? If you're single and happy right now, we'll go back to the main Ganesha message, which was courage. That's kind of like your go-to thought this month is, do I have the courage to follow my heart? Do I have the courage to move on? Do I have the courage to speak my mind and make the changes necessary? Because if I do, creation, manifestation, synchronicities are en route. But if I don't, then that's what I need to work on. People are coming in, but it's more about how you feel about yourself. It's always been there anyway. So focus on how you feel so that you can pull in people that are in that higher energy. And finally, let's go to the oyster. Doesn't really matter which direction this card is in, because whenever I look at an aquatic creature, I don't care. They're not kind of constrained by the same things that we are on this planet. But the world's your oyster. This is the world card in disguise, basically. And if I were to have used the Afro Goddess deck, I think the world card she may be sitting on the oyster. It might be the Two of Wands, maybe it's Two of Wands. It's been a while. But anyway, there is sort of like possibilities with the oyster, and I like that. So back to the whole eclipse energy, it all came full circle here. You can't always see everything. We don't know the pearl that's inside until we open up the oyster, right? So you may be sitting on a pearl right now. All you have to do is open up. All you have to do is keep receiving. And the oyster is a very big indicator of receptivity, because it's a filter feeder. It opens up and everything goes through. Sorry, I just hit that. Everything goes through the oyster. So you have to kind of be open to receive. That's your big, even though we haven't looked at the big idea, when we're looking at destiny, that's the key to your destiny, is to say, I'm open to receive. And I feel that energy of being the pearl long before anyone else ever sees or recognizes it. All right, let's use the other deck here to pull a big idea card and see what the message is for just kind of like focusing on what is it all about. All right, let's see what it says here. King of Swords is saying to speak your mind. And I feel like I featured him earlier. So King of Swords, decide what it is that you want to do and then do it. We see a little dragonfly right next to him. Dragonflies, hummingbirds, butterflies, they're all signs of transformation and higher conversations as well. So what I would say is elevate what it is that you want to say, and also lead by example in your actions, because swords are a combination of action and communication. Walk the walk, talk the talk, but try to find a way to say it in a way that's inspirational and not abrasive. He is a King of Swords upright, so he has the capacity to really woo people with his communication skills. Great energy. So elevate the conversation. Try to inspire. Try to somehow lift up with what you have to say. We're not going to do a viewer's choice because we're so close to time. We're still going to go over, but we had a deep topic today. But I'm going to do a reader's choice. So I'm just cutting out one tiny little piece today to try to keep us in our time limit of 2 hours, which I know I read longer than most readers here, but I do put chapters in here so you can always go back and look at what you want to look at. All right, so let's just take a glance at the cards and see what I'm drawn to look at. I go straight to Justice. So I want to understand what it is about this, either saying no or believing that you need to see. Oh, tarot. All right, we have Justice upright. So I just laughed because I clarified Justice with more justice. It's okay. You're making the right move. It's an affirmative card when it's upright. So and this is going to sound very bizarre, but Justice reversed is typically no or indicates leaving or walking away. Justice upright is typically yes. So I was clarifying that it's okay for you to say no. It's okay to not do something. It's okay to walk away. It's okay to disappoint. It's okay to do something that makes you feel more balanced. Whatever it is that you're doing, it will probably make someone else disagree with what your path is, but that's okay because it makes you feel right. So this is your chance to find and achieve the perfect balance. And you may have an amazing Libra coming into your life because that's a double whammy of Libra energy too. So there could be a Libra coming in that's going to help you out. And some of you may also be looking to right or wrong, say I'm sorry, go to court, whatever it is. It portends that this is the right path for you to do as well, to try to make things go in the right direction. Okay? So I'm not clarifying Justice anymore because I'll probably just get judgment. And I've had enough of Justice and judgment. So we're good. I feel like that's the perfect place here. We'll just double check that I got through everything. I did. I just took out the viewer's choice just for time. So what we're going to do next is move into the final portion where we will do a meditation and I will answer a final question. But before I do that, a couple of quick reminders. I know that Dakota's helped out with this. So please subscribe if you haven't already subscribed so that you know when future videos are coming, and also opt into the notification. Follow me on social media so you can be aware of any updates or time changes as they may come through over the next couple months. And that's how you do the super chat, someone was asking. Stick around because we are going to do one more card at the end. Maybe I'll pull something else too. We'll see because I'm kind of off script with the end here today. So stick around and we'll see where we go next. But for now, let's meditate. In the sort of spirit of giving us more time for the final question, and if I want to do another card, I'm going to choose the instrument based on where we go with the meditation. So just trust me. Close your eyes, and I want you to focus on, I like the energy of the sea because of the oysters. So imagine that you are maybe on a raft or a small sailboat on top of the sea. And as you gaze on the horizon, you see blue sky meeting the blue ocean. And as you gaze into the ocean in front of you, it's beautiful shades of aquamarine and sort of like just beautiful blues and greens intermingling to colors that almost seem like they're too good to be true, like they've been photoshopped. So as you're looking at the color green and blue connecting you to your heart and your throat chakra, one thing comes true and comes clear in your mind, which is I can do what I want to do. I can say what I need to say. And I'm going to be positioned in the right place at the right time. Just like the water and the wind are bringing me exactly where I need to be to receive this message, I also trust that my choices, the environmental sort of things that are going on are going to conspire in such a way that a synchronicity is opened up for me. All I need to do is to be ready. So as you lay down on this on the sailboat, just lay back for a moment, allow the wind to take you closer towards this beautiful island, see the sun shining behind it, and just allow yourself to be lifted up, to be carried, to be supported, and really focus on the throat and the heart. Allow for an opening to happen as I play the singing bowl, and then after this, we'll come back and take a look at the final question you have for me, and maybe a bonus. Imagine now that you have landed on the shore of the island. Your feet are touching the beautiful sand beneath you, and you are ready now to explore. You're ready now to take the first step towards whatever this new exciting destination might lead to. So just stay open and believe that anything is possible. All right, focus now on whatever your final card, final question might be for me, and I'll pull the final card. This can be a yes, no, this can just be general advice, whatever it is that you're thinking about, focus on that question. So many synchronicities and similar cards today. This one kind of combines a few of the cards that we looked at. So we have the Seven of Cups here, but I'm going to pull the Afro-Goddess card here that it reminds me of, which is the Moon card. And so what we see here is this, it's the same energy, it's the same card, just they chose different ways to express it. Isn't that crazy? All right, so the Seven of Cups. You deserve a chance to be heard, for those of you that are trying to put an idea out there. I think some of you need a little bit more time to really get behind or understand what that is. So spend the next day or so really doing the research. The way that you can bring clarity and decisiveness to the Seven of Cups is to read up on something, try something out, talk to someone that's already done something that you're thinking of doing, to really give it the due diligence necessary to feel like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. So that's my answer here, is that whatever you're thinking about, it deserves a little bit more consideration and research. And once you do that, whatever seemed impossible suddenly becomes quite possible, as we see here with the Moon card here. So your fears should sort of go away or dissipate, and you should start to get more and more clarity. If you're asking for a yes, no, this is saying you need, it really is a not yet, because you're not here and here. You need to decide on it. So give yourself enough time to be clear, because I see a lack of clarity on that. It's a good card for brainstorming, for developing, for exploring, and it tells me that no idea is a stupid idea. You just need to develop it and get behind it a little bit more. Okay, so that's ultimately what I see on that. Let's do one for the road here, and what I want to look on this one is one final card for just really asking, like, we're going to do two. I want to start with, what can you do to stop a repeating pattern? Self-worth is that message that wants to come through for this. So self-worth equals net worth. And so when you believe in yourself enough, other people will believe enough to invest in you and to support you. And this is also walking away from conditional energy towards unconditional love. So that's the first thing to break the cycle, is you are more than enough, you deserve more, and you want to heal those familial wounds from the past. And then what can you do to write the new chapter? We have the Chariot card reversed, which is saying, I am unafraid, I am willing, I am ready to take the wheel. I'm going to do this if I have to. I have the strength, I have the power, I have the wherewithal to do it. Okay? So just 2 final cards to help answer the original question that was posed in the special topic. All right, we're going to take a moment now for gratitude. I want to say thanks to everybody, first of all, just for showing up. If it's your first time, it's good to have you here. For those of you that stuck around, thank you for being here. And for those of you that have been following me as I moved 3 hours earlier, thank you for your flexibility. There's not much I can do about that until I move, so I do appreciate that. All right, I'm going to say thanks to brand new channel members and anyone who gave back. Just a reminder, before I do that, actually, if you want to take a look at my schedule, it's on my website. After this video is done today, I'll make sure that I put the time and date up for Libra, and then later I'll do Scorpio and Sag. That's going to be Monday, Thursday, and Friday's readings. I just haven't put the videos up yet for like setting a reminder, but I'll do that today. And now I'd like to say thank you to everybody that gave back. I appreciate your time, your energy, and your participation today. So, all right, for the new members, anyone that joined in the past day or so, let me just say thanks. All right, so memberships. Let's see who's new. Janice Semper, thank you so much for rejoining after 19 months. Good to have you back. Nicole Fenton, thank you as well. Crayola Rice, thank you as well. Both of those they're brand new members. Everyone's new unless I say otherwise. Teresa M, thank you. Vicky Lopez, rejoining, thank you. Mallory Knox, Toya James rejoining as well. And I think that's everybody from the past few days. All right, now for anybody that gave a super sticker or super chat, I'd like to say thanks to Dakota for helping out and acknowledging these in the moment. Because I've been busy, he allows me to do that. So thanks, Dakota. All right, kicking things off today, we had Nikki, thank you for starting everything off. I appreciate it. Aaron H. Anna V, thank you. Mercathia Hughes, thank you very much. I appreciate the 50. Robin Redman, thank you as well. Phoebe Alona, thank you as well. 2 in a row, I appreciate that. Michelle Baines, Lucy Rodriguez, Damla, thank you. Palace Athene, Leah, Marina, let's see, Guerra, I think it is. Thank you very much. Allison Sprates, Sonette LaRue, Jules in July, Isu Agogo, OLM, I think OLM, yes. Tony D, again, Isu Agogo, the Kinky Witch, Allison Brooks, Twinkle, Marina Lazuli, yes, thank you very much, and thank you for the 50, I appreciate that. Wild Foxes, Ms. Optimistic, Georgianne M, Bubble Bubble, Jeannie Hart, Marina G, Mary P, thank you, Cathis L, Yvette Sanchez, Crystal McKnight, Dark Star Alchemy, Sophie LeBreton, and Cindy Toshik. I think I caught everybody from the initial thing, and I think, let's see. We have Goddess of the Garden, thanks for being a member for 10 months as well. And thanks to all my members who I don't always have a chance to call out just because there's a bunch here and I appreciate it. As we get closer to a milestone, I may do it on, because it takes me a while to get to the 100,000 ones. I may do it at either the 25s or 50. I'll start to open up maybe and do another Q&A for members. So that's something nice for membership. Plus you get to vote twice, but I'll think about doing like maybe quarterly Q&As as I get closer to that. That gives us a little bit more of inspiration to get to the 25, 50, 75, 100 milestones when it comes to how many subscribers there are. So maybe I'll do something, and that'll bring us closer to the end of the year because it takes a few months usually for that. So little thought that I'm putting out there. Thank you again, everybody, for showing up. I appreciate you. I will be back again tomorrow. Again, I'll be looking at Libra on Monday. So looking forward to all the Libras that want to show up. And again, every Sunday I do one of these readings. The topic changes. You get to vote on it. So thanks for making this amazing. Lots of love and light to all of you. Have a great day. And thank you for being a part of my day today as well. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.